Hey, thanks for making it to Veterans Info Tap. I'm glad you made it. Insomnia ratings changed. You've seen it around. And let's look and see the criteria. It's the criteria and the mechanisms in which create service connection and really secondary conditions for insomnia. I'm going to read through directly from the horse's mouth the manual, the M21, on this specific change that happened January 10th, I believe, of 2024. And we'll go through it. Hit the thumbs up for me, subscribe, share with a friend, all that good stuff. We'll see what we can pick out of this, any nuggets, and kind of think it through a little bit. It's important to read through. And remember that when the VA makes changes to any of the manuals or any of the schedule of ratings or anything, and it could be a couple words, it could be a rephrasing of something, it could be something that's drastic or something that's really minimal, but it's important that we're aware of it, and they'll always put in that there has been a change. So change date is January 10th 2024, and I am in the M21 under general information on mental disorders. I hit Control F and shot down to or typed in insomnia and shot down a little bit to where the bulk of them are, and we can jump in here. So it says under this section, considering service, it says SC. So Sierra Charlie, SC, service connection. So considering service connection for insomnia. I'm going to read through it directly from the horse's mouth. You'll know when I chime in my 2 cents or if I see a little nugget. So carefully consider. This is, again, remember, this is the VA's manual for their employees, right? This is what they need to understand as they're moving through on your claim. Carefully consider the evidence of record when deciding service connection for insomnia. Insomnia is generally considered a symptom of another disability due to coexisting medical or neurological conditions. Insomnia can occur as an independent condition or can be a symptom associated with another mental disorder. For example, major depressive order, medical condition, for example, pain, or another sleep disorder, for example, a breathing-related sleep disorder. When insomnia is adequately identified as a symptom of another underlying disability, service connection should be established for that diagnosis rather than for insomnia, and the insomnia symptoms should be included in the evaluation for the primary service-connected disability. A separate evaluation is not warranted for insomnia that is considered secondary to or a symptom of another disability. That is a huge paragraph. The bottom second line, last sentence is big. A separate evaluation is not warranted for insomnia that is considered secondary to or a symptom of another disability. For example, prior to this, many years ago, I was able to get rated for insomnia secondary to my back condition, which is service connected. So, according to this last sentence, I would not be able to do that today. A separate evaluation is not warranted for insomnia that is considered secondary to or a symptom of another disability. Now, I'm going to hold off until I get through this to give you kind of some of my thoughts on some workarounds here. So let's move through this. However, service connection can be established on a direct basis for insomnia in the absence of a known or established underlying etiology, if there is. So there's 4 bullets. An event in service, such as a diagnosis of primary insomnia or insomnia disorder in service. A current diagnosis of insomnia disorder meeting DSM-5 diagnostic criteria. A nexus establishing insomnia disorder post-service is connected to the event in service, and the condition is not associated, so it's and the condition is not associated with any other disease or injury. They're covering both bases there. So they're making it much more difficult. It says here, important, a separate service connection evaluation for a diagnosis of insomnia disorder is only warranted if all other potential causes are ruled out and service connection can be established on a direct basis. Wow. Insomnia is gone for many people. This is rough. So a separate service connection evaluation for a diagnosis of insomnia disorder is only warranted if all other potential causes are ruled out and service connection can be established on a direct basis. All right, so last little piece here, and then I'm going to give you some of my thoughts on it. So notes, DSM-5 revised the diagnostic terminology from primary insomnia to insomnia disorder. In both the current and prior versions of DSM, the diagnostic criteria includes ruling out all other potential causes. Accordingly, a valid diagnosis of insomnia disorder meeting DSM-5 criteria means that the insomnia condition is not caused by or secondary to any other condition. When evaluating insomnia disorder, rate I'm right at the end too. Analogously under an appropriate diagnostic code in 38 CFR 4.130. Poof. All right. So here are my thoughts. The only way that you can get insomnia as a condition now is as a direct, it's a standalone condition. And again, like it said in there, all other aspects are ruled out. Okay. A separate service connection evaluation for a diagnosis of insomnia disorder is only warranted if all other potential causes are ruled out and the service connection can be established on a direct basis. So insomnia is a direct condition by itself, standalone, not with anything else. So how do you prove that? Because guess what? Chances are you never, ever, ever mentioned anywhere in your service treatment records that you could not sleep, that you had insomnia during your service connection. Now during your service. Here's my thought. My thought is, and look, I'm not telling people to bend the rules to their favor or to lie or anything like that. I'm going to throw out an example. It may fit you. It may not. My insomnia is absolutely due to my back, right? I wake up, I toss, I turn, I twist, I can't fall back asleep. And so I stay up, right? And then I'm tired, and then I look like this. But I was able to get mine service connected as a secondary condition. That is gone. Okay? I would not be able to do what I'm going to tell you now because it doesn't fit me. But this might fit you. So I just want to open up the brain waves a little bit here. During service, you never documented anything about your insomnia. Okay? You just couldn't sleep. You bought over-the-counter stuff. You used melatonin, you used whatever, trying to go to sleep. You never went to a doctor and got diagnosed. You just took over-the-counter meds and you dealt with it. You just did the best you could, or you just had a bunch of sleepless nights and just walked around like a zombie. Then you got out of service, and many years down the road, finally you get diagnosed for insomnia. Basically, you ask hey, can I get some prescription sleeping meds because, man, I cannot sleep. So you do that. Well, now you're going to have to work with your doctor and have them write you a very strong Nexus letter that your condition is a direct, not due to any other conditions that you may have, not related to them in any way. It's a standalone condition. And you're going to have to write a letter on the 4138 form, just talking about why you never got diagnosed while you were in and why you never mentioned it. You just kind of self-treated and did the best you could. And write that letter out, explaining the circumstances regarding your insomnia during your time in service. You'd want to do your buddy statements, anybody that knew you and knew that, like, oh yeah, that guy would always take Firewatch because he never slept anyway, right? So they could write letters for you. A spouse, a family member, anybody like that could write letters attesting to understanding and knowing that you had problems sleeping ever since you were in service. And really tracking it back and building that bridge back to your time in service. It's really the only way that you're going to be able to get Insomnia as a standalone rating. So with that, thank you so much for watching. I appreciate you. Have a great one. And remember, if we don't take care of each other, something went wrong.